Welcome back, life travelers, to another video by Ricardos Travels.
All that I want is for you to be happy. Give me a chance to show that you can be. Well, open your eyes and see the way I see. 'Cause all that I want is for you to be happy with me.
Okay, getting started. I want to let everybody know that's already seen the first episodes of this multi-part series. I'm going to recap those just real quick. So I'm going to put up on the screen if you want to jump to the end of those and get into the products for this video. So in my first video, episode 1 of this multi-part series, my micro RV boondocking gear, I introduced everyone to my 2-week boondocking cooler without any power, my no-seam window bug screen with rain shield, and my rooftop rack and cargo carrier. So that's episode 1, and look up the top left of the screen. I'll have a card that you can go to that and get all the information about those items. In my episode 2, I introduced you to the bug zapper / flashlight / emergency light / reading lamp / tent light, just an all-in-one bug zapper light. And then the next items is 2 items really. It was the 2 fans that I have, the large one and the small one. The main thing about those is one, I can take hiking, but both of the fans, the batteries can charge other devices. So check out episode 2 for that. And then in episode 3, I introduced you to my jump starter / battery pack that allows me to use about 80% of its battery to charge other devices, because I only need about 10 to 20% of that battery to jump off my car a dozen times. And I also introduced my battery pack inverter that I use for my laptop and to charge other devices. Okay, let's get started with episode 4. Today I thought I would answer some of the questions I've been getting about the build. I had shared that I was starting a channel and all the different things that I'd be doing with RV travel, RV lifestyle, RV living, my micro RV build, all the different equipment and parts. But it seems some folks took it as that I had hundreds of videos up already, or at least that I had videos and everything that I said I was going to have on my channel. So that was confusing to some and frustrating to others, so I apologize about that. But I have included all the products and gear, or as much as I could, because YouTube limits how much you can put in there, how much text and links and all that good stuff. So I only went over it a little bit in the video, just as an introduction of some of the stuff I do and some of the ways that I do it. This video is going to be a generalization and discussion of each of those items in the micro RV build specifically. So to get started, please remember to subscribe, like, comment, share, all that good stuff. So once you find one of my videos, of course, it's going to have the title right below it, and it's going to have the very important like and subscribe and share and comment. But down below that, you'll see the click more. And some folks know about this and some don't. But to answer a lot of those questions, I put a lot of my information down below this. Well, I don't put it there. I put the information in there, and this is how YouTube does it. They only give you 2 or 3 lines right there, then everything else is down below. So you got to click show more to see more. So let's click show more. And now you can see we have just all kinds of other links. Of course, the standard support this channels, the tip jars, the Patreon, the Amazon links, and of course go over there and check out my travel photography and art. A lot of people don't even know that's what I was doing first. That's how I traveled. That's why I traveled. For photography and art. So go over there and check that out. You can support the channel that way as well. And then a short description of the video. And of course this was the channel premiere introduction video, so that's what all this information's about. And then we drop down a little bit further and we got timeline. So if you're looking, and this is the format I'll use in all my videos. So if you don't want to watch the whole video, you can jump down here to see something that you may like, and you click on that number and it'll take you right to that time point or that number within the video. You don't have to watch everything else. So that's a very helpful timeline for you. And then we'll go down a little bit more and I'll get into the different products and gear and information that went into that video. So the first item I've got in episode 4 is my 1200 watt inverter. Now remember that Jackery battery bank or battery pack, I've heard them called many different things, has a built-in inverter, but that's just sort of a standalone. You don't have to be hooked up to anything. This inverter, you hook to a battery, to the car battery, the post of the car battery, and this one happens to be a 1200 watt. So it's got the USB ports and 2 15 amp ports, and it gives you the readout, not just what it has in it, but the output as well. So this is good. So you can see the in and the out. So you can see how that works. And of course you got the DC coming in, whether it's coming in through another battery, a solar panel from your car. Let's see if it's got a picture of that. That's just the electronics inside. It's got a fan on the back to keep it cool, and it's got its contact points on the back so you can hardwire it straight into something. I don't have it hardwired. So this is all the different types of things it'll run. And yes, I will put it out on my camp table or on the back of the vehicle. I don't have to have it right up there by the driver's seat. So this is what it looks like with my 10-foot cable running off to the side of the vehicle or out the back. So that's the inverter, which I believe in the video I showed an old inverter that I used, and it was a 500 watt. This one's a 1200 watt for not much more. So you got more than double, and it will run a lot of the devices that that 500 would not. So this is the one a little better. And of course that inverter, I was telling you I ran it outside. That's the cable I use for that. So it's got the cigarette lighter plug on it, and then the contacts right there on the left, the bottom left. So that's what it looks like. And so I can run that, I can plug that in to the cigarette lighter up front and run that all the way to the back of the vehicle, or all the way up to the side of the vehicle into my tent. Anything like that that I need to do. Next way of charging, I've got solar panel. And again, multiple uses. Two things in my plan for my micro RV is multiple uses, which mean non-vehicle specific. If it's vehicle specific, it's not multiple use. It will only be used for that vehicle. So multiple use means many different things to me, not just that you can charge other things with it, or it also has a light on it, or it can do different things. Whatever the item is, I would like to be able to, whenever possible, be able to take it backpacking. So will it fit in or be able to be carried while backpacking? So instead of just getting a big mobile portable solar panels, I've got two different foldable solar panels. This one's a 24 watt. And again, these aren't my main sources of power. Like I said, it's most of my battery packs will last 2 or 3 days. And with me traveling a lot, every 2 or 3 days, I'll move anyway. So I'll be charging things during the day when I'm moving. And I shared in the video, I'll often either find free or cheap locations, very cheap locations, like $10 or less, that I can charge everything up at. Or if I'm going through towns, I'll stop at a restaurant or store, wherever it is I can find power, or in a day-use park. I shared that in the video as well, that you can plug in and charge. But if I don't plan on moving, I don't want to walk halfway down the park to charge things or whatever, yeah, I'll pull these out and use them, you know, backpacking. So I can put the smaller items in my backpack, strap that on, and go off for a hike and charge while I'm out hiking. So it's got 3 USB ports that I can charge with off this one. So this one's a pretty good one. And they are 2.4 amp per port. A lot of them in their advertising say they are 2.4 amp. But that's across all of them. This one is each one. Each port is a fast charge port. So that's one reason I really like this solar charger, or solar panel, which charges. So that's that one. Another one that I use, it's even more compact. And of course, either of these I can lay out anywhere. I can hang it off the side of the tent, off the car. I can use these to charge items while I'm traveling down the road. So I can put these up, you know, on the dashboard, because there is a limitation to the cigarette lighter, how much I can charge. There's only so much power coming through that cigarette port. So I can't plug 100 things into that and expect all of them to charge in a couple hours. So I will use these to charge devices as I'm going down the road. So I can lay these up on the dashboard. If I'm at camp, I can lay them up on the car or out in the sun. Or if I'm backpacking, I can strap them to the back of the backpack. So multiple uses again, and I can backpack with them. So that's my second one that I use. Now we're sort of down to the safety equipment. And again, double uses, safety. I mean, a lot of this stuff, it's a judgment call whether you want to call it safety, whether you want to call it a light, whether you want to call it a battery pack, whether you want to call it whatever. Like here's the Garmin RV 780. It's a Navigator, of course. Right? It's what helps me navigate and not get lost. But I call it a safety thing. And it's more so for folks with vans and taller and heavier and longer rigs. But you can put in the vehicle size, length, weight, height, everything, and tell it not to show you roads or streets that you can't fit on or can't legally go on. Or some of them you might not want to go on because they're so rough. So that's what this RV version, this Garmin RV 780 GPS Navigator. So that's a triple use item for me. It just makes it easier. It is GPS driven. It's not running solely off cell towers. So when I get in the mountains and out in the middle of nowhere, it's still working. That's very important. I've been on trips where I've went with my cell phone using the Google Maps or some other map service that uses cell towers. And you get in the mountains or out in the middle of nowhere, and that map no longer works. So this one works off GPS. I mean, it uses cell towers as well, I believe, but it uses the GPS, so I can go through the mountains and not get lost. Plus, it gives you information. You can punch in. It'll show you restaurants, gas stations, dump stations. You can plan your whole trip ahead of time on this, where you want to go or where you've been. If you want to go back somewhere you've been before. Again, safety. It gives you a warning if you're going over the speed limit. It knows the speed limit of where you are. Again, safety as you get close to a turn, particularly in metropolitan areas, large cities, to get in the right lane and figure out which lane you can get in. Do I have to get over now? Do I have time to get over? It just makes it safer, more pleasant. And I guess you could say it's a fuel saver as well, because I've done that many times, and I'm sure you have too. You missed the turn. So you either got to make a crazy jag, over into traffic, cut people off, all that kind of stuff, or you got to miss that turn. So it's not worth causing a wreck to make that turn. You go on down, and sometimes you got to go a long ways. You get in Texas, you get on some of these, like in Florida, southern Florida, you get caught on the wrong road. You're going to go for a long ways till you can get turned around. So you're going to waste a lot of time, a lot of fuel. So this helps you way in advance, tells you exactly what lanes you can take, your exit number, what your exit sign looks like before you even get there. This is just priceless. You got to get one. If you drive a car at all, if you RV at all, you need this. So that's my Navigator. Also to the side run my Google Maps just to double check it. So none of these things are absolute perfect. The database is on them. So I compare them.
And that's going to do it for this episode of my multi-part series of my custom micro RV build products and gear. If you have any of these items, please let me know in the comments. Let us know what your experience is. Are this good or bad? Did it work for you? And I'd like to know what you think. Does this gear sound like it would be items you could use that would help you, that make sense to you? Or if they don't, I want to know that as well. So let us know in the comments. And like, share, and don't forget to subscribe. And until next time, I hope everybody has happy and safe travels wherever life leads you.
One is for you to be happy. Give me a chance to show that you can be. Well, open your eyes.